Okay, so I'm going to give you a more detailed explanation on digit skipping. So you go to, okay, so I'm going to give you a detailed explanation of all the macros I've got. So this is this is by 10,000. So 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000. And that skips 4 digits. This is the 2-digit skip, so it speeds up by 100. So 10, 100. The 10-digit skip is exactly that, so 10 of these. So 10, 100,000, 10,000, 100,000, million, 10 million, 100 million, billion, 10 billion. So it's a 10 billion digit multiplier. That's a 100. No, that's a 10 billion multiplier. This is a 100 multiplier, and that's a 10,000 multiplier. The 100 digit skip is different. So it's exactly 100 times 10 speed changes. So that would be like well over a Google. I think it's like one Google multiplier or something. As you're skipping, yeah, it's one Google. And then this is a Google chime multiplier. So these are custom multipliers I've created. And so this uses 10 of the 100 digit skip macro to get 1,000. So we're going to click OK, and then we're going to apply. Google, this is a Google chime. That's a Google multiplier, and then that's like like a billion, no, 10 billion. So that's 10 billion. That's a Google chime. That's 100. That's 10,000. I've also done the same for ISM. I'm not sure if that's actually functional yet. So this is that in action. You can see the ranks of 6 hours, 9 minutes, 12.022 seconds. It will go down pretty quickly. If I remember, I've got the calculator. So that's the current BPM. So this is the current BPM value. So basically digit skipping uses custom-made speed multipliers in the form of macros. And look at that, look at the thing here. And then boom. And you can see at the top there. Then it crashes. Just like I said earlier. And then eventually it will display as 0 seconds. Not because it is 0 seconds, but because it's so close to being that duration. So you're speeding it up by like a Google toll. A Google chime. You're speeding up by a Google chime. And there, it's all done. Which means one E and then you zoom in. Just to give you a degree of how small this is. So this is a 1 Google chime speed multiplier. Okay, the amount of clip boundaries is actually making it lag, so what I'll do is I'll select it all and then I'll go to edit, clip boundaries, join. Copy that. Paste it elsewhere. Cut the end bits off. You'll see why in a minute, because that way it will reduce lag. One of the downsides of this method is that it creates so many clip boundaries it actually lags the program. Which might actually be why it breaks in the first place. That's my theory. So then it's 0.33 seconds. Now this is how many clip boundaries there are, and this is a tenth of a second, right? I admittedly got a bit lazy with it, honestly. I'm not going to spend the rest of the time. Okay, so it says silence, right? Here's another characteristic with this technique that I don't think is available anywhere else. Okay, this is another technique I've got. So it's not really another technique, but it's another thing involving it. So since the BPM is multiplied by one Google chime or 1E plus 1,000, allowing the digits to go up 1,000 in the first place. It's not even an ultratone. It's not even an ultrasound, it's silence. Which means in a normal scenario, you'd have to revive the sound of the amplification. But here's the thing, here's another distinction when using this method, and this is why I'm going to show you. Let me clear 30 seconds first. There we go. Okay, so here's another distinction. So when using these digit skips, what happens is you cannot amplify until you export the track itself. So basically, oh wow, it is amplifiable, no way. Shit, I didn't normalize it, wait a minute. You need to normalize it first and then it will work. See? And that's why. And it's still negative infinity. So, here's what you do. You simply export it, you don't really do anything with it. Oh yeah, I also put the BPM in the metadata just so I can keep track. It's what I've been doing with phantom vibrations as well. Okay, and then we import it, so we go all the way to superluminal. Open, as you can see, and then after that, and the whole point is you can't even hear it. Because it's so high pitched. And here's the funny thing, here's another distinction. You have to change the pitch manually in order to revive the tone audibly. It's another factor of these skips. Digit skipping I don't think is new, but I don't know. I have a feeling I saw IJ9 used at some point in the past. But because he faked his numbers, then he's unreliable. Pitch shift it again. I'm gonna keep doing it until I get a decent sound with it. They don't all sound the same unless you pitch shift them specifically to not sound the same, then yeah. See? And now it's audible. Some might say it's just white noise, but it isn't. It's thousands and thousands of digits worth of BPM. And I'm gonna continue. I was just mucking around with it. So these use multiples of 10 to do the work. So one of them uses 1u3, another uses 1u100. There we go. Like, that's another distinction this technique has, is that the tones are more unusual than standard multiplication. So yeah, if this is 10-digit skip, so you're speeding up by a factor of 10 billion to skip 10 digits at once. So this is a 10 billion speed multiplier, because you get 10, 100,000, 10,000, 100,000, million, 10 million, 100 million, billion, and 10 billion, and then it stops. The 100-digit skip is the same principle. It's the same principle as the previous one, except it's repeated 100 times instead of 10. The two-digit skip, the two-digit skip is just simply a times 100 multiplier, so it's times 10 and times 100, then it ends. The 4-digit skip is a multiplier of 10,000. So 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000. The 1,000-digit skip is just 10 100-digit skip macros applied into one singular set. Now, I've tried doing the 10,000-digit skip, but it doesn't work. I conducted tests earlier today. So, yeah. But this does work. This is 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, and 1,000. Because you can't say 1000, that's just weird, and also stupid. So yeah, that's what the 1,000-digit skip, which allows you to go from 4444 to 5444 BPM in the span of like 1 minute or so. Absolute madness. So yeah, that's digit skipping. That's the whole philosophy of it. But the tone revival method is pretty weird, well, for this technique in particular. Because you'd have to export it and then re-import it to actually make it audible again. And even then, you'd still need to apply pitch changing effects like you would do with infinitesimal slow music. So it's very interesting to see. You know, it's interesting because, like, I thought this would have been like a whole big thing years ago, but apparently not. So, oh well. Right, I'm gonna export it and then probably release it to the second channel. Yeah, and you also have to replace a pre-existing file, because again, you're re-importing it to revive it, to resuscitate the audibility of the actual frequency. So yeah, that's digit skipping. See you soon.